It's our second annual philanthropy issue. We've got $100 billion in net worth on the cover, 2 Nobel Prize winners, the biggest rock star in the world, and we've got 5 great stories on the inside. The first one, we have Bill Gates, the richest man in the world, and Bono, the biggest rock star in the world. They call themselves partners in crime, and they go into great detail on how they work together and bring together philanthropy and social activism in a way to really use capitalism, actually, to create change in the world. Number 2, we've got a story on Paul Tudor Jones, one of the more better-known philanthropists in the world through his Robin Hood Foundation, but somebody who very rarely gives interviews. And he goes inside with the 25th anniversary of the Robin Hood Foundation and talk about how he's rethinking his philanthropy and how they are pivoting Robin Hood to change the mission from just poverty to the real root, which he says is education. Number 3, we have our first ever ranking of the most generous philanthropists for the previous year. It's the Philanthropic 50. And what this does is attempts to measure not just how much money is being given or being donated, but how much of that money goes into the field. So this is the first ever ranking of this kind. We worked with a group called the Philanthropic Research Institute. We looked at 1,600 names, 50,000 individual donations to come up with the 50 biggest givers, a lot of expected names and a lot of big surprises on this list. Number 4, we've got a very interesting story on a woman who a lot of people think they know, Liesl Pritzker-Simmons, child actress, and made headlines about a decade ago when she sued her father and her family, the famous Pritzker family, for access to her inheritance. She wound up getting about $500 million. She was trying to get access to her inheritance because she thought she had a right to know where her money was going. She didn't feel like she had that information. And because she wanted to put it to good use. And so what Liesl Pritzker has been doing is one of the most purest case studies ever into impact investing. It's a very surprising story, and it's definitely worth checking out. And the 5th story is something a little unusual. Forbes goes to Liberia. Now, what is Forbes doing in Liberia, you might ask? It's the 8th poorest country in the world. The entire GDP of the country is less than $2 billion. What we did is we wanted to do an experiment. We wanted to see what happens if you channel the world's greatest business thinkers, most successful people, greatest entrepreneurs and philanthropists. And if we focused on one country, could we make an impact? And so we spent time mentoring 3 top social entrepreneurs at the Forbes 400 Summit on Philanthropy. We follow up on what that mentorship did for them, how it helped Liberia, and then we actually took a trip to Liberia with a bunch of social entrepreneurs and philanthropists to see how those ideas were working in the field and whether or not a group of kind of philanthropists from all over the world can come together on one cause and make a difference. It's an unusual story. It's an important story, and I hope people check it out. You can get it on newsstands, subscriptions, of course, and on your iPad.